Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jan Moses, back here with the Saturday, May 31st edition of the Salary Cap Report. Final day of May, and boy, are there some really spicy changes for salary cap now that we're in round 2 here in season 7. We're going to get to all of that in a little bit. I just wanted to very briefly talk about the new Splash Zone set first. This set obviously came out yesterday. And kind of like with last week's set, I already forgot what the set was called last week. Was it Vibes? I don't really know, but the vibes for these Friday promos aren't really there when it comes to adding players to your salary cap lineups now that we're getting what feels like a lot of pretty mid pink diamonds. But one pink diamond card that is not mid is Josh Childress. This card, I think, is going to be a mainstay in a lot of people's salary cap lineups, especially with the big change that was made to the salary cap value yesterday at the beginning of round 2. It was a change that I think a lot of people, myself included, have assumed was going to be coming sooner rather than later this season, and that is the fact that the salary cap has been raised up to 30,000. We were at 26,500 for a few weeks, and I was anticipating a big bump when I saw at the beginning of season 7 that round 1 still had a 26,500 salary cap value. It was only a matter of time until we had a salary cap of 30k, which is really interesting because this opens the door now to bring in multiple Galaxy Opals if you want. You can bring in a Dark Matter card and still have a really good squad around that Dark Matter. And that is what we're actually going to do in this video. Let me quickly make sure that I am recording as always because I don't trust myself. Looks like I am. Hi YouTube. Hopefully the camera's not too low. Yeah, 30,000 is a pretty decent amount of salary to mess around with. Just to show you guys on my lineup, the main change that I've noticed is that Joakim Noah, who's been sitting at 8,000 salary for what feels like months, is finally up to 10,000, which I think is totally fair. You know, I think there are two groups of players that I think are going to benefit the most from this salary cap increase. One are the dynamic duos that you guys have loved to use. Maybe there was, you know, a few of you guys that liked running the Opal Jamal Crawford and Pink Diamond DeAndre Jordan. That duo is now viable where you have a 30,000 salary cap, and I think those two cards combined for 13,000 salary, which is great. I'm currently at a point where I don't know if I want to run Joakim Noah for 10,000 salary, and I also just think it's kind of good to mix it up. I know what I have in Joakim Noah. He's been one of my best players that I've run in salary cap all year, and I think I'm going to move on from him. You know, I'll show you guys my record that I ended with last round. You could see kind of blurred out there, but we've ended up going 12-6 to close out round 1 of salary cap. We're now obviously 0-0. Really stressful slate of games in round 1. It just feels like the competition is not getting any easier in salary cap. The rewards in this game mode are, I think, much better than Showdown. And, you know, especially now with the salary cap being raised up to 30k, I'm not saying you can bring your God squads, because the way God squads are looking now, people are running multiple 100s and a couple of invincibles here and there. You obviously can't bring those cards really into salary cap. But you could still bring in some really good opals and maybe a dark matter, maybe even 2 dark matters if you're feeling frisky, and make your lineup work. I mean, I think those of you guys that like to run with just a starting 5 in salary cap, you guys can bring in 2 dark matters and really dominate with them as long as you surround them with good diamond cards. So that could be really annoying to play against, and it's going to make salary cap, I think, a little different compared to previous rounds of you know, of the game mode. Let's go ahead and show you guys a couple of the groups that I was referring to earlier, because I don't think I finished that thought when I said the salary cap being raised up to 30k affects 2 major groups in my opinion. Well, the one major group is dynamic duos, like I mentioned. The other group are the out of position opal cards, because these cards are really good, and they're not going to cost you all that much, especially when, you know, your salary cap is up to 30K. Even if an Opal card costs you 10K, that's only 33% of your salary cap. So Andrew Bogut, a 7-foot point guard, is only worth 8,000 salary. I may see if I can pick him up now when we get super packs this upcoming Tuesday. Denny Avdia, I know both of these cards are at or a little over 100K. I think Denny is still close to 200K, right? We can take a quick look at the auction house this morning. Okay, this one with 16 added legend badges is at 143. But he's probably going to go up a little bit more in salary, or in his price rather. But Denny is, I think, the only Opal from the set who's sitting at 10,000 salary. He's at 10K. I know Buzelis is at 8K. This card's also really good. Honestly, I think as many of these cards that you can fit into your lineup that you like running, the better, because a lot of these cards are really good and a lot of them are minned out in salary. So I would try to find a way to bring these cards. We talked about duos earlier. Gershon Yabusele and Adem Bona from the Pantheon set have a decent duo that makes them both Dark Matters with some decent badge improvements and stat changes. I'll show you guys my lineup really quickly because, you know, I was looking at all the duos again this morning to figure out what I wanted to run, and I wasn't really totally sure how I wanted to go about my team. And you guys that have been rocking with me for a while know I don't really always like to play salary cap during that first weekend, but I kind of want to this weekend just because I didn't like how much salary cap I had to play last week to hit 2,500 points because of how much I procrastinated. So I want to get a head start on that. And two, I think I found a pretty fun lineup that I want to mess around with in salary cap, and I'm going to show you guys right here. So again, we talked about this in the last episode of the salary cap report. Instead of me going through every single card, I think I'm just going to pick a couple of either players or groups of players that I think are worth talking about. That's why today, instead of going through every player in my collection from Dark Matter through Amethyst, I thought it would be better to just highlight those two groups of players that I think you guys should look into if you want to, you know, modify your salary cap lineup now that that salary cap once again is at 30,000. Just to show you guys, I think a lot of these Dark Matters that are at 10K salary are going to be worth bringing into your lineup. Josh Giddey is going to be in this lineup. At least, you know, we're going to try him out maybe for a game or two in salary cap just to see. But I want to try a salary cap game with the Dark Matter at my point guard spot. I don't really have a Dark Matter big that I love. I mean, Rudy Gobert, I enjoy using him, but not for 14,500 salary, you know. Man, LaMelo Ball, 12.5. I think a number of people could bring in Magic Johnson. I think that could be a smart move. Invest 10,000 salary towards a Dark Matter point guard with height, and you can just dominate with them for the majority of the game. May not be a bad idea. And then again, Opals, if there's one that you like for 10K, bring them in. But, you know, otherwise, you know, the ones that are at 8K, there are a number of really good Galaxy Opal cards that are sitting at 8K salary. I mean, a number that I would even consider from this group right here, you know, OG's at 8K, like that's not bad. My OG has a legend badge on him. Yeah, lots of really, really good options at the Opal and Dark Matter tier for players that are minned out. You know, the min salary for Galaxy Opals is 8K, and for Dark Matters, it's at 10K. Let me show you guys the lineup that I'm thinking of putting together here. So as I said, I wanted to focus on out of position and dynamic duos. I don't have the Opal out of position cards that I would want to run in salary cap. I think the only Opal card I have, or the only two Opals rather, that I have from the out of position set are Paul Millsap and Josh Hart, and I don't really plan on running either of them in salary cap. We'll see if I can add a Denny Avdia or a Andrew Bogut potentially on Tuesday next week. But for now, I want to try Josh Giddey. You know, Banton, I really enjoyed running Banton. He did go up by 1,000 salary to 3K. I want to try Josh Giddey. And if I want to bring in Josh Giddey, that means I have to move on from Joakim Noah. And as of right now, the direction I'm leaning in when it comes to my center is going back to Donovan Clingan. Clingan gives me 3 inches height-wise over Joakim Noah as well. And I do like this card. You know, his jumper is a little inconsistent for me, and I know a lot of people don't like this card strictly because of his jump shot, but he gets a lot of rebounds for me. He makes winning plays, and I'd like to try him out again in salary cap just to see how he does for us. We're going to keep Paolo Banchero, but getting rid of Joakim Noah means that Corey Brewer has to go as well. And honestly, I'm going to probably move on from Jabari Smith, and I'm going to be bringing in my second dynamic duo in this lineup. We're moving on from Corey Brewer and Joakim Noah, but I still want to have at least two dynamic duos if I can running in my lineup at any given time. So we're going to move Toumani Camara to the starting lineup, which means, as you guys can probably assume, I'm going to be bringing in his dynamic duo partner in crime, which is Shaedon Sharpe. Now, just to show you guys, in case you forgot, because I have not badged these cards out, before we get to the rest of the lineup, if we go to the radioactive set and I go to Toumani Camara, who is right here, just to show you guys, you can get Toumani Camara, Legend Post-Fade Phenom, Legend Limitless Range, Legend Unpluckable, and then for Shaedon Sharpe, you can get him Legend Float Game, Rise Up, Aerial Wizard, Post-Fade Phenom, Legend Dimer, Legend Pick Dodger, Legend Mini Marksman. Not all elite badges, but a number of those are pretty damn good badges. And for Toumani Camara to be able to get Legend Limitless Range is awesome. It's going to make that card even more lethal, because if you're bringing in Toumani Camara, it's more so for the elite defense he provides you as a card that's only worth 1,200 salary. Shaedon Sharpe, I believe, is only worth 5,000 salary. So this is a really strong duo. You're bringing in two Dark Matters, essentially, with really nice Legend badges for a combined 6,200 salary, which is great. Now, unfortunately, we need to shed some salary here. I'm not going to be bringing in Corey Brewer, at least as of right now, without Joakim Noah. I want to bring in a player that's a little more bulky, even though this card that I'm bringing in is also 6'9", and that is JT Thor. Again, I got to figure out if I want to bring in JT Thor over Corey Brewer, but I just felt like JT Thor played a little bit bigger, if that makes sense. And so for right now, we're going to bring in JT Thor. We'll see if that ends up changing at all. And then we are going to have to make changes here at the backup center and power forward if I want to run a lineup like this. So we're going to go back to one of my salary cap goats, Quinton Post at the center position, and then an Amethyst power forward who I was waiting to drop down from 1,500 to 1,200 salary, Nikola Jovic. So I think this lineup is pretty damn good. Another option, if you guys want to add more dynamic duos and maybe modify your lineups just to add a little spice to this video. Another duo that I enjoyed running, even though I don't love running this card at point guard, you could put Derek Anderson here and then bring in Antoine Walker right here. So now this lineup has 6 Dark Matters, and by making that move, I've now freed up another nearly 6,000 salary. So I could upgrade Donovan Clingan. If you guys have, an Opal or even a Dark Matter center for 10,000 salary who you really like. I don't know how much salary, we can take a look how much D-Rob is going for, because D-Rob's Dark Matter is a card that I'm actually considering adding to my lineup as well. Here's Bracket Buster. So David Robinson, unfortunately, is 12,500 salary. But if you have a Dark Matter or Opal center that you like running, you could easily bring them in. Hold on, let me go back here. Where is the salary cap, man? You could easily bring them in if you wanted to, because of how good this dynamic duo is and how cheap they are. Because these are now 2 duos that are each worth 6,200 salary. So, we'll have to see. I think for right now, just because as much as, I would like to run this duo, I just don't think Derek Anderson is a point guard I like to run with compared to running with Josh Giddey. And so I'd rather bring in Giddey and then throw Paolo Banchero here just for now. We'll see. Maybe I'll end up benching Josh Giddey for a card like Derek Anderson with Antoine Walker. Maybe I'll bench Josh Giddey for the pink Diamond Dyson Daniels, because you guys know I love that Diamond Dyson Daniels. But as of right now, this is the salary cap lineup I'm thinking of running with. Let me know down below in the comments what salary cap lineups you guys are running with for this new round. I still can't believe we're finally at the point of the year where the salary cap is up to 30K. We're able to bring in some insane cards right now, which is crazy. All right, I hope that I did this right. I tried to set up my agendas to where I'd be able to get the 10-pack box for you guys today and a Dark Matter from the daily logins. Let's see if that ends up coming to fruition. One last check to make sure I'm recording. We are. Here we go. Let's see. So there's our Splash Zone exchange. Is my camera moving? I don't trust myself. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. So there's the Splash Zone exchange. We're going to turn that into a 10-pack box. And then here is our Dark Matter Premium, which is nice. Do I have any more packs I have to open up is my question. We have a Dark Matter, a Pink Diamond, and I think that's it. Yeah, we're not going to open up these Pink Diamond packs. You know, we're going to start with, we have a 6 Series Deluxe, a little warm-up. How about a little 100 overall Yao Ming to start this pack opening? Come on, 2K. Bam! Oh. We get Martin Gortat. We get a big man, but not the big man we were hoping for. Okay. Here we go. Let's start with that 10-pack box. Season 7, 10-pack box. I hope we get Josh Childress out of this, man. Otherwise, I know all those Pink Diamonds, they're still somewhat pricey, I think, but they're all going to go down in value by Tuesday when we get Super Packs. So, all right, here we go. Splash Zone 10-pack box. It was not that good of a 10-pack box last week from what I remember. We might have gotten one Opal, actually, last week. We start off with a Gold and a Sapphire. We get Franz Wagner. That's great. Come on, 2K. We need to see some shakes in this box, man. Not the start we were looking for. Back-to-back Series 1 Sapphires is not great at all. 3 packs. No shake. Major Jones. This pack opening is looking like a major L so far. Can 2K... Dude. What is this 10-pack box? Bradley Beal. Is this a Series 1 10-pack box on the final day of May? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? There's no way. We're going to have to buy all these Pink Diamonds? 2K. What is this? What? Isaiah Collier, one of my salary cap guys. Final 4 packs here. Dude, I'm in disbelief at how bad this is right now. I'm getting players I've never heard of. Jim Ard. Final 3 packs. No shake once again. Holy moly. 2K, this is awful. We have one more pack in this 10-pack box. We've gotten 9 packs with nothing but Series 1 and Gems of the Game cards. And we just had a full sweep, a 10-pack box with not one player from the set. This is why I don't rip packs on this channel. My pack odds are absolutely horrific. We just grinded out all those agendas for 6,250. Well, I guess with the badges, 7,000 MT, which will hopefully be enough to get us 2 Pink Diamonds in a couple of days. But we should have gotten shakes out of that box, man. That was horrific. We're going to get this Dark Matter pack out of the way. Let's see if this is going to be the cherry on top of a turd cake. Let's see if this can be a good Dark Matter. But, man, there are so many bad Dark Matters. I am not expecting anything good here. Western Conference, 98 ball handle. It's going to be a point guard. That's Steph Curry. That is an incredibly, incredibly bad run of packs. I'm pretty sure I already have Steph Curry as well. Unauctionable, I do. The rewards in this game are awful. They're genuinely, genuinely terrible. I'll just take the MT. I don't care about any other rewards. Well, we're at 3.7 million. Let's see, what's the cheapest... what's the set called? Splash Zone. I'm so bummed. That was terrible. I'm glad we have that on video. I went way too high. That's way too low. Ugh, terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. These cards are still going for like 5K, aren't they? Even more than 5K. I mean, it has been just 24 hours or so since the set came out, but that is so frustrating, man. So beyond frustrating. Wow. Well, I really hope you guys had better pack luck than I had, because I don't even know if Raja Bell is worth that price. I mean, there's so many like shooting guard and point guards in this set. I feel like all these cards are gonna be really, really cheap soon. So I'm not gonna go crazy over spending 67.50 on Raja Bell. I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know down below in the comments what are the lineups you guys are running for salary cap. I can't believe my 10-pack box in Dark Matter were that bad. I mean, I can because of, you know, it being 2K25, but not one shake, not one. Terrible.